Okay, so now that we have completed Super Korean World, let's get through some backlog since I am able to stay for a longer stream today. I'm going to give Terminator first call if Terminator is still here and able to check in, because he was here very early on, catching up with most of the Super World that we played, but if not, we'll get right to some Meng since you just came in with the raid with Netcat, since we have so much of your recent works to get through. Now, I know I did play early versions of all three of these, not Mid-Airs, Underground Hedgehogs, and Adult Trampolines, so we probably won't be doing those. I might do those again off-stream just to get to the check mark, or possibly recover my ways to some hard modes. I actually don't remember which hard modes I have or have not completed. But we've also got a few other ones. Rainbow Dash, Muncher Splash. I'm way behind. Blast in the Woods, Minecraft. And this unpronounceable mathematical operation, which is probably a syntax error. And so yeah, Mang, since you're here, we'll just get through a bunch of yours. That's probably a good way to start. Also because while I intend to run viewer levels tomorrow, I may not be able to do a particularly long stream, so it makes sense to perhaps get through what we can today and really take our time while we're still able. So why don't we start with Minecraft 3, since apparently you don't like it, but here it is. And we'll just move forward from there. This is from early March. As with Super Korean World, you can tell that I've been weeks and weeks behind. Mostly because I've been playing Kirby. Reached a goal after defeating all 10 thwomps. Look at this crate that's just parked on top of the dash panel. Probably to remain loaded, I don't know why, but I guess the idea is that we bump the thwomps from below, and then we'll need to figure out how to do each of those, probably by moving them over in some fashion. I mean, it is apparently a Minecraft level, so we'll be blowing things up. Interesting. It looks like I probably need to bump it using this. Notice that I can move this swamp, maybe, and then bump it using the block on the right side. But we need to get within range of it first, and I'm currently not within range. I think I might have to proceed before I understand how to interact with any of this, but also there are a lot more than 10 thwomps here, aren't there? Oh no, all 10 thwomps, okay. So I guess this is the end of it. And that the loading of the crate on top of the mushroom platforms, or for that matter the dash panels, might turn out to be something that really matters. Yeah, loading the crate is actually going to allow me to block thwomps into position or do something else to kind of not only affect where they're located, but where I'm able to hit them. If I bring the crate all the way up to the front as well, I wonder what that does. On-off switch does what? It mostly just affects platforms and some conveyors. This will be interesting. Well, it affects this conveyor. But until we have demolished some of these blocks with something like a hammer, we can't really do much with that. Off switch, however, might make it worthwhile to go back over to the other side. Oh, also, no, notice that I can roll into the POW. Which means that if the thwomp is located above the crate, it is vulnerable to being rolled into the POW. So the idea is that I need to get the thwomps on screen and on top of a platform within POW range. That might not be the only way to destroy it, of course. There might be some other methods that we need to be aware of, but that's certainly one. Because using the crates to block the thwomp movements is probably another thing that we need to account for as well. So for example, this is a side swap, we launch it. Where do we take it? Probably just needed to block it here, in fact. But in order to do that, we need to prevent despawning. Right? And so if it runs into the crate, it's just going to smash it. Okay, so let's think about it. So we can respawn the thwomp over here. We can activate it. And then we need to think about the dash panel. What if we load this crate on top of the dash panel? I mean, the thwomp's just going to smash though, right? Like, it's probably not going to behave the way I want here. Like, let's say we move it. Yeah, it's going to stop over there, but what if the crate is loaded, but off-screen for the smash there? Well, we'll need to think about that. Currently, we've only got one of these solved so far, which is the guy who was located in the middle over here. And we're going to need more crates. So let's go back. So yeah, on-off switch is affecting this as well. Yeah, the reset doors here are just tied together. This guy goes off to the side. And then he's going to bounce back, which means that I need to figure out how to park him on top of the crate. Or how to block him with another crate. Probably using the bounce platform, actually. Because if you... Yeah, here's the thing. Did we do this? No. This bounce platform does not activate. Hang on. Because it's... First of all, not a bounce platform. If we... Oh, wait. No. Bounce platform is going to... If we activate like this, what's the priority order here? Yeah, so that's how it works. That we need to basically activate the POW directly after the on-off switch when we do the bounce. So the bounce is going to be consistently available to us when we start in the on position and go off. On to off is going to bounce it. So we would bounce and then hit. Thwomp is going to come back like that. So we hit it in midair, that's 3 thwomps down. So that's solved. And that's how you deal with that guy. Problem with this thwomp is that we need to park it here somehow. Possibly by following it over, blocking it somehow by outpacing it, and coming back. The issue is that we don't really have a good way to outpace it unless I use the dash panel to just move forward. I feel like I would need to smash this block somehow first so we can just go directly over and outpace it with both dash panels and get ahead of it. Once I get ahead of it, if I'm able to block it with the crate over here, then I'm able to back up and then hit. But I feel like we still need a hammer to do some of this. Possibly. A hammer would break most of this level, though, because you could just hammer the thwomps directly. So I don't think we're going to get a hammer. We're going to have to think about this some other way. Notice, too, that there is the thwomp that's at the very end over here. That is going to go nowhere. That's interesting that the clear condition tells me it's going to be all 10 thwomps. Because maybe we just can't count. When it comes to understanding what's going to be available. Yeah, because this loop over here... I feel like in certain locations you just need something to stand on that would allow you to, for example, long jump into this with some momentum. Game sound died, okay. It was behaving so well earlier when we were playing all those music levels in Super Korean World. We are going to have to restart this anyway, Meng, so let's do that before we time out. So we've figured out 3 thwomps so far. Okay, let's see. Sound should be back. Let's start over. Okay, so this thwomp is trivial. It's basically given to you right away. The crate on the dash panel here seems to be a clue that we should be using dash panels to load crates whenever possible, or to use them as some other form of blocking piece. We know where we're going to have access to another crate later on. We also know that perhaps this is going to be a bounce pad that's going to be affected by the on-off switch. If we do the on-off switch, we're able to bounce on top of this, and then the thwomp is going to come over this way, and then we can probably manipulate it somehow from there. This thwomp is a side thwomp. It is one of the ones that's fairly easily dealt with, I think, because if we reset this room, then we just bump this block underneath the thwomp and it dies. And indeed, it's going to despawn. Let's go over here and take that out. This cloud looks interesting. Cloud, I believe, actually does work for global loading in 3D Worlds. Game sound is dead again. That was quick. Wow. That barely lasted at all. Just give me a second here. We were doing so well. Okay, hopefully this time it sticks. Luckily, not a music level. So I believe that in 3D World, clouds might actually be a loading piece as well. I don't quite recall, but I remember that it was some kind of like really weird edge case that was 3D World only, and that might be it. Notice too that if a thwomp is coming across over here, that is bumpable. But we would need to be able to get that thwomp down in the first place, and to do that we actually need to get rid of this lower one, I believe. And Zola King, you're telling me that, yeah, the clouds are global ground in 3D World. I thought so. If we get that thwomp over, then this is easily dispatched with a wall jump, and as long as we're quick. But we do need to get rid of this one first. And we'll need to do that at some point, given the clear conditions. So. I wonder if actually this is just going to be something similar to a long jump, if we just place a crate in an appropriate location. So for example, if we place a crate slightly to the right here and have a bit of extra space, I should be able to hit, in fact. I think that it will be the solution. If we just remember where I found that crate to begin with. Okay, this guy we know how to deal with. We just need to do the bounce over here. Let's actually do that since the crate is positioned for it anyway. And we'll take out a few at a time. Nope, bad timing. That's okay. It'll come back. Slowly. Maybe. It totally didn't come back. That's okay, let's just despawn and do it again. Oh, bad timing once again. A little bit janky, perhaps, but we'll do it. There we go. Just gonna punch it in midair with the cat's paw appropriately. And then we'll do this as well. Whoops. Never mind. Nope. We got it earlier. This is a fairly simple timing interaction. Shouldn't be too much trouble. Whoops. There we go. We'll maintain the off position because the off position is going to create a couple of opportunities here that didn't previously exist. But first of all, let's see if we can do this. And run across and do the long jump. It feels like I am just barely out of range for it. I feel like it is doable. Or maybe not. Maybe I do need some additional piece here. Or maybe we're just not close enough to the edge. It's so close that it looks feasible. But I may be wrong. Maybe some additional piece that I need to make this work completely. Like another thwomp that I need to perhaps reposition. Or perhaps we need some forward momentum from a dash panel or something like it. This we can punch out like that. That's 5 thwomps taken care of. I actually kind of wonder if it is going to be something like a dash panel where if this is off, then maybe we're able to do something. But let's go back here and see. It really does feel like I should be able to, unless I have to just load this onto another object. Lentis, welcome. So we need to figure this out. We know that previously we were able to lodge a thwomp in this position as well, although we killed it on the way over, so never mind that. Why do I place this, like, right on the edge here? Let's see. Just barely out of reach. It looks so plausible. But maybe not. I'll have to think about that because that's going to give me access to that other remaining thwomp as well. Now I think that's all we need the current on-off state for on this side. So maybe if we toggle the on-off state, reduce this platform. And then rethink some of this. This guy, I don't know how to deal with yet. I feel like I actually needed to place one of the other thwomps here, for instance. So, for example, if you loaded this over here and prevented the thwomp from running into this. No, this is still going to be... Oh, this is 2 tiles. The thwomp could potentially come through here. If it does, then you can stand on the thwomp and then hit this brick. In order to do that, the thwomp would have to be lowered by 1 block before getting propped up by this platform here. I don't know if I can do that. We might have to send a different one over instead. We are going to time out on this one, but we might as well scout everything we can beforehand. Like I said, we haven't really used the cloud loading property just yet. That's something that's potentially going to remain useful. We also haven't dealt with this guy. There are certain places where, yeah, using the crate allows me to get the thwomp repositioned. And if I can stop it from despawning, So for example, if I activate one thwomp, follow it over, activate the thwomp going backwards, maybe we're able to position one or both of them in the middle somehow, and have one stop the other. Let's consider how that's going to work. We understand this one. We do understand this one as well. We know how to deal with both of these. So let's deal with both of these. But of course I should take the time to figure out some of the other ones first. This is an interesting variant of, I believe it was Zerfink's thwomp puzzle from 5YM that was all about using the single block to give it ground. So yeah, I haven't really been thinking very hard about how to use the dash panels here. I think if I place this here, am I still able to get enough height to activate the thwomp that's on the right side? We'll find out in just a moment. With one wall jumps, maybe we're able to do it. Or maybe not. Yeah, it looks like we're actually just slightly out of range for that to happen. Unless I'm able to come off the wall somehow. Nope, looks like... What about the spin? Hang on. The spin, if we do it accurately... Yeah, we're able to do it. Okay, thwomp should be able to hit. And it should stop. And then we can bump it this way. That's another one down. Interestingly enough, that... Yeah. I believe that did add to my count, but we'll need to reset in order to grab out a crate. So with this one, then, I feel like I need to really kind of outpace it somehow. Or find another way to place a stopping piece in order to get that to be unloaded. Because if it stops at the dash panel, what happens then? It goes back here. Possibly I just need to kind of follow it over all the way in. Now, naturally, because there is a clear condition attached to this, the elements that are affected by the clear condition, like the thwomps specifically, do not respawn. Which is good, because it means the thwomps are effectively kind of tracked here. I think we just need to go fast to keep up with this and keep it spawned on screen. But it's not going to happen as long as this block is here in the way, unless I kind of drop in and kind of follow it over. Because I think the idea is going to be that... well, it's going to sail right off the screen, unfortunately. So, like, the other thwomp needed to be alive for this to happen if I wanted to try to outpace this one. We'll try it again, but... nope. Yeah, I think it is possible to keep pace with it, but the other thwomp needs to be alive, so the order actually does matter in terms of killing it. But let's check something here. Let me just make sure I can do this run first, because then if we have the order issue worked out, I think we do know how to kill this one. It's just that there is going to be a certain priority to it. Yeah, we can totally kind of outrun... And no, if we do that, we can just stop it, in fact. We can just throw the crate and block it. So this is actually still feasible. We just need to get onto one-way panels, or get on the dash panels, rather, as quickly as possible. So this actually is just a platforming interaction. Nope, need to not get stuck. I probably could have bopped it right there, in fact. Okay. Nope, I keep jumping there. That's an awful idea. Don't know why I'm doing it. Let's... There we go. Now we erase it back, and we bump it. Okay, that's 6. Technically 7, because I think there was one I knew how to kill earlier that I just haven't dealt with yet on this run. So let's reset through the door again. And see what we can do. So order does not matter, thankfully. But we should occasionally think about the dash panels as a way to proceed. So here's the question. Can I find a way to kind of roll into this or long jump into it? And I don't think I have the height to do it here, but the conveyor might give me lots of momentum for doing something like that. You see? Look at that. And the conveyor plus the bounce, in fact. Or maybe you need to run against the conveyor and then fall onto the bounce and then have this kind of elasticity that's going to happen. No. It's not. It's going to be a long jump off the conveyor. Maybe? Not sure. I feel like the crate is going to matter here. That where you maybe need the crate to be suspended by the platform, by the bounce platform, such that you have a little bit of extra distance with a long jump. And Natcat, you're going to head off to bed. Yeah, thanks for joining me, and thanks for the raid earlier, Natcat. I hope Until Dawn treated you well, because now you can sleep until dawn. Yeah, I feel like if we get conveyor momentum going into this, maybe that's going to be part of the answer. Because you look at this, the long jump gets you really far. It's just that we don't have anything to stand on after that. And we're going to have... Oh, I would looked at the clock just as it said 69 seconds. Yeah, similar to this thing here, we need some kind of forward momentum here, probably from this being off. And then we take the dash panel. The dash panel will give me plenty of speed going into it, then we jump, and then we long jump out of that, and then that should work. Assuming that we set the switch to the appropriate position first. Yeah, we're figuring this out a few segments at a time. When we put it all together, we'll be able to get everything down under the clock, I'm sure. And yeah, the cloud is going to keep this loaded, so we just need some of this dash momentum to kill this. And then after that, we have the ability to activate this swamp and hopefully race it over as well. Whoops. Kind of peeking at me here. Okay, that's not quite right. That's not exactly within range. I will need to think about that. That's okay, we have most of the swamps figured out at this point. Man, you have to go for now? Yeah, we'll finish this one anyway. And we might do some backlog on top of that when we have time. Might just turn this into a bit of an impromptu puzzle stream or something, depending on what we catch up on. But thanks for dropping by anyway. Glad we could show this off, at least partly. Let's reset this. Hang on. Yeah, we know how to get that. That's from the bounce platform. We know how to get this one. We know how to get everything except this guy. We still don't really understand how to get him moving. But we got a lot of this sorted out at this point, so... Yeah, we'll punch all of these out, and maybe go back to solve some of the earlier ones as we... whoops. As we go. And yeah, if this overshoots, you can actually reuse the on-off switch to get it properly positioned. That's a much cleaner way to do it. This seriously looks like it's going to be some kind of momentum trickery. Possibly involving timing this element here, but we'll do it at some point. It's going to be something involving the conveyor and a long jump. It's just that we don't have the positioning figured out yet. But when we do figure it out, it'll go cleanly, I'm sure. Let's make a little bit more room. Oops. Nope, a little bit too late on that jump. Hang on. Okay, let's reposition this because I'm a little late on a long jump every time. I feel like this can be positioned maybe slightly further to the right. Oh, whoops. There we are. Now let's see about how we can do the rest of this. I feel like we might have needed to stand on top of this. That's actually not within range, which is odd. Because then how do we activate this apart from just going up to the top, which I don't think I can do? Yeah, we don't actually have a good way to activate them unless we go over to ceiling somehow. If we can find a way to go over to ceiling, then that would be perhaps the way to do it, but then we would need some way to trap him after that. I see no opportunity to go above the ceiling. And so that we have not yet figured out. I thought I would be within range, but clearly I am not. Maybe I really do need this top corner here, where if we place the crate over here and then long jump like right into the corner, or high jump rather, right into the corner, we might be within striking distance, but it seems not. So this guy's a bit of a problem right now, until we figure out what to do with him. It's surprising that we can't get within range this way. And Luca, you'll grab some food now. I think we'll probably be fine without hints for now, but thank you for offering anyway. And we'll see if we can make it work. Let's come back and think about this, because that... Yeah, there are two that are still kind of eluding me. These two. This one I feel like it might actually just be a timed element. Let's... You know, where if we have good timing getting on top of this crate, we might be able to do a long jump off of it that is at the appropriate height. Unless we just need to stack underneath it. And... Nope. Seems like a pretty specific thing to execute, though, to do it this way. Also, this block up here is suspicious. In a way that I haven't quite placed yet. Like whether there's going to be some kind of reason to drop something through here. Let's see. Okay, let's not do it that way. I feel like it's going to be a big miss every time. It doesn't really explain the bounce platform on the left side, though, if I don't get a long jump off of this. Yeah, because look at how far it goes. Like, we just need a little bit of an extension here. That would be perfect. Possibly we'll maintain it like this. Maybe there's a particular throwing pattern involved that would get me through. Where I throw and then, no, I am consistently outpacing it if I run into that, so. But it seems like I am able to fall on top of it if I just have a good release. And if I do manage to fall on top of it, we're in good shape. The dash panel might be relevant here too, in fact. If I build up dash momentum perhaps, and then spring my way back. Nope. Not. Seems like a pretty specific timing challenge if it's done this way instead. Yeah, because that would lift you a little bit. I don't know. Don't quite like that. If we fall out of this first, though, and like falling onto this location, perhaps, I won't get enough height off of that. So, it won't be right either. Yeah, let's just kill what we can. Moment. Nope, missed. That's okay, we'll just activate it again, except now it's totally gonna get stuck. Yeah, it's gonna get stuck. No, it's not, actually. That's okay, we'll respawn him. Anyway, no, he's going to be totally trapped, so we'll just nudge it again. And that's reasonably accurate. Nope. Kind of wonder if there's a way I can maybe place this swamp elsewhere before I do anything else with it. But no, I think that's actually unlikely. Let's hit the switch, let's go back, let's do the other ones that we can. We'll need both switch states for this one. And for this other one down here. And we know how to deal with the one that's bottom left, or middle left, I suppose. So we've got basically 8 out of 10 accounted for. It's just I'm at the same time thinking about what we'll do for the remaining ones, and it's not quite clear to me yet, but we're going to think about the puzzle while we're solving other parts of the puzzle and redoing certain parts that are just kind of execution dependent. Yeah, so this guy I don't know what to do with yet. It might be some kind of weird 3D world overlap that gets me within range. But yeah, particularly given that it seems like I'm kind of almost within the wake-up range. But not quite. I'm looking at a ceiling here to see if maybe there's a way across the top that would give me what I want. But One other thing I haven't considered is that if I manage to get a thwomp in a globally loaded position, like on top of a crate that is on top of a dash panel, for instance, then I would be able to freeze a thwomp in position at long range. That may actually be helpful. Yeah, if I can do something to kind of bounce back against this, that would be ideal. Yeah, I wonder what it is. Oh, you know what? That's actually well within range. Okay, no, that's fine, actually. We've got plenty of room here. It's not hard at all. We just need to beat that wall jump. And probably do this a little more efficiently. So I wonder why I was having issues with this to begin with then, because yeah, the spinning jump is going to take too long for me to descend. So the idea is that I place the crate here and I just do a simple jump up top. And you punch it. Okay, so we basically only have one left then. We've gotten that one. Yeah, so this guy still eludes me. I feel like going with this plus the bounce platform is not really going to be the answer. I feel like this drop here, like this block, is relevant in some fashion. Such that when we have some kind of on-off switch, it would drop the crate, it would move it to the left, it would move this stuff to the right. Yeah, we might just need to follow the crate at a certain distance to land on top of it and then bump. But there's some kind of momentum trick here that's going to be relevant. We're getting the long jump in position. The other thing that could happen is there's a way for me to duplicate the crates. Yeah, that's going to be way too low. That's definitely not it. I feel like I might need to ride out the bounce myself, but in order to do that, we need to kind of back into it like this. Then that's not going to be it. But maybe there will be something. I feel like this is still my best bet, to be honest. It's difficult to execute. But basically, if you fall on top of the crate, the height is correct. It's just that if you kind of run directly into it, you pick it up. And so I need to figure out what my timing with this entry is going to be, such that we can land on top of it directly. It does feel pretty execution dependent, but we'll try to make it happen. Particularly with the additional conveyor momentum that we'll be dealing with. Trying to fall into it so far, that's not quite going well. I wonder if I just need to refine the timing here, or if there's something else that will allow me to punch this. Well, let's reset through the door, perhaps, with the off state here. Does this swamp even move side to side? No, it's a purely vertical swamp, so it's completely frozen on me right now. I will have to figure out some other maneuver for it, or do something that would get in power range. Like some other kind of remote activation of the POW. Anyway, we have 9 out of 10. That's really the only one I haven't solved. Man, you're back already. That was quick. So, yeah, man, we've solved everything except... let me show you. I solved everything except this one. I've got all the other ones. So I'm still thinking about that. See what we're doing wrong. Anyway, we'll just try to reverse for as much as possible, because I was thinking that the best bet is to have conveyor momentum but slide on top of an additional block using this and then bumping this with a long jump, which seems to be the only way to do it, but we could always be missing something. It's not going to be something reusing an earlier thwomp in the level, I don't think, because the clear condition does prevent me from respawning any thwomps to use that idea. Nope, I always miss this. Not quite. Okay. Yeah, this turned out to be fairly simple after all. This one over here, we just need to get put in range quickly. I like the way it's timed, such that if you just do the spin here, you just take too long unless you do a good cancel. It's easier to do it with the crate than without the crate. Let's toggle the switch once again to get rid of that guy. Up front. This one's fairly easy. Yeah, it would strike me as strange that this one here would be timing dependent on something like the bounce of the crate, but it's the only thing I see so far, and it is not implausible. I mean, it does give you the right height if you just fall onto the crate accurately and then long jump out of it, given that currently this is the long jump height and distance we're dealing with. As you can see, we just need 2 additional blocks to run over, which means that if I do manage to suspend a crate in this position, we're actually in good shape. But currently, that doesn't really look like the right thing to do. So let's follow this guy. Well, he's actually going to crash into the other thwomp, right? So will he go back? No, despawn. Yeah, I don't need to do the crate throw if I just get him to crash into the other thwomp, which we haven't killed yet, so... I'm glad that it is not order dependent, though, that we can, in fact, get him to go back this way without having to race him with the crate, but we can do it the other way as well if we did things out of the original intended order. So let's stack this on the dash panel, and we'll activate number 9. And we'll reuse this element here, and then go back to the crate, which will respawn quickly. So yeah, just missing this single one here, and we've got 200 seconds to figure it out. So, this guy. What are we going to do with him? And Luca, you're back as well. Yeah, we've solved 9 out of 10. We just need this one. And the best idea I have so far is to just land on top of this crate, but or maybe follow it down the belt, but I just don't have the timing for it. Like, that's a little late. We can try this method. But my timing needs to be perfect. That's a little late. That means I need to get a little ahead of the peak of the jump. That seems like a difficult timing to hit, though. Nope. No, and then maybe if I just don't run into it, who knows? There's no hard trick. Just think like Mang. Well, here's the thing: is that like along Mang tricks are momentum based, right? And so, like, obviously, if I'm kind of thinking like Mang, the first thing that comes to mind is to use either the conveyor or a combination of the conveyor and the bounce. Now, the issue is that the conveyor seems to spill me over too far for the bounce. And if I try to kind of do it with a bit of an elastic method like this, we can't really get any forward momentum going into a long jump. So, like if we did a long jump out of the belt, look at how far back it pulls me, right? Like, this looks so close to the real thing, this thing over here, that if I just had something to step on, it would give me a tiny bit of additional distance. It would be good. Now, the other thing is thinking about the dash panel. That's the other thing that occurred to me. But I wouldn't quite know how to do a reversal out of that. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we need to do something to load this guy, or dislodge it in such a way that we could do something with the POW. You're saying there's no hard trick, but if we found some way to maintain the crate in position here, or maintain something else in position here, might be useful. Like I was saying earlier, I still don't have a use for this. And that might be something like a timing synchronization, where maybe I need to hit the on-off switch to release that. And well, let's see what that was used for, because I don't know that we've really thought about it yet. Like, yeah, because right now this is the most suspicious thing that I just have not employed yet. I haven't used this element in any meaningful way. That tiny little on-off switch right there. And so I suspect it's going to be something to do with that. Now let's clear the area, because obviously, like, this has to be done or doable without the existing thwomps in the way. But maybe that's a bad assumption. Maybe we do need this swamp here somehow to give me some additional space to work with. Now, so here's the thing. That if we drop this, Or if I even drop myself using some kind of remote activation that might be possible with the on-off switch. Let's throw this first of all. So what happens? Let's see. If we do a double tap, it just lands like that. Yeah, thwomps need to be independent because of clear condition. I know that. That's what we've figured out so far with all of the other ones. Like, this seems like it loads the crate onto a consistently good position when it spills off the conveyor, but that doesn't give me what I want, which is a good position to work with for the long jump. It could be something to do with the dash panel. Like this dash panel here, we haven't really used it. This platform tucking the thwomp away, I guess that just prevents it from going backwards, and so you would be forced to respawn the thwomp that was associated with. It might be something really simple, like how we just didn't do the activation range on some of these earlier. You know what? Let's think about this, because let's say, yeah, so notice how this is within range of side thwomp. That tiny corner over there. And the thwomp goes left. This is important information. The thwomp is tucked into the left. We kind of knew that already, in fact. But suppose we bounce this. And then found some way to activate it. That would then dislodge it somehow. I don't know about that. I'm still not using these elements here. I really feel like it's going to be a long jump because I can't see it happening any other way. Like, I don't see any other way to activate that block. Like, it has to be a long jump. Conveyor momentum plus this spot is the perfect placement. But, let's see. Because I don't think we can gain enough elevation through any thing here with, say, placing the crates down below as a landing spot. Like, I don't think that's going to give me the height. But let's say we place it here, for instance. We would need to bounce somehow. Like, we need to maybe pull back onto the bounce. Like, if there's some way that I can get this bounce to line up for me properly. I don't see it. Like, there's this. Maybe something obvious I'm missing, given that everything else has been fairly straightforward so far. Like, this would kind of lift me. This doesn't give me enough momentum. Maybe I need to throw it with me or something. Nope, I'm going to outpace that. How did I solve the third one? You mean this guy here? Oh, that's easy. Like this one? Or do you mean this one? Oh yeah, no, that's number 3. Yeah, no, that's easy. You just place it here, and then with this in the off position, I use the dash panel. bottom one. Oh, you mean this guy here? No, no, I just bump it with a roll, right? That's not going to be relevant to this position here because there's nowhere to roll unless I have the crate miraculously tucked into this position. Like, that's not going to be relevant here. Because I just chase it and I roll with it. I mean, that's the obvious thing to do, right? Notice how I managed to do that with an overlap. What's the crate? Is the fourth one? Oh, yeah, because this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? And then I need, yeah, I turned this off and I used a dash panel, that's what I did. And then I just had this positioned in such a way that I would long jump into it. Which... is pretty simple. Like, this is just the only one that I can't see what to do with because, like, the only thing I see is figuring out this timing trick. And maybe it's doable, but it's such a narrow timing window that I really do not feel like that's going to be the intended way. Like, it just does not look correct. That's literally the only one that we are missing right now. This last one is your favorite. Yeah, it's probably going to be something momentum-based. Something slightly crazy. Like, we haven't used this dash panel. That's important to know. We need to think about which elements we haven't used. We haven't used this dash panel. We haven't used this block. We haven't... You know what? We're gonna do this. Why don't we just do everything quickly? Oh, sorry, wrong way, wrong way. Why don't we just do everything quickly? And hope that it's still loaded by the time we crash into the POW. No. That's not it. Because if we can keep this loaded somehow... Notice the kind of squarish placement of the ceiling. Yeah, Luca, please do recommend a level after this one, for sure. Like I said, it's just going to be miscellaneous backlog that we're doing today. So... Anyway, I know how to do all the other ones, so we'll just skip that for now, but... So we know this guy is aiming to the left. Oh, how to get on top of this. He's already loaded on top of ground blocks. Maybe there's some way to extend the range on this POW. Maybe. But I don't see how that would work, given that the POW is deliberately sort of inaccessible to me here. The door, let's see the door here. We come back over. I mean, let me check every possible location to work with here. Maybe there's a way to bounce an object on top of it. Or, I mean, like we established earlier, the thwomp order is going to be independent. Otherwise, I would try to find a way to position a thwomp that would be usable as a platform over here. There's nothing else for me to reposition. There's the crate, which has gone away on me. Also, yeah, no, I see what this is for now, actually. I see what this is for. It's to make this not timing dependent. This is actually for the center thwomp. The reason I haven't interacted with it is because I was doing things the hard way. Because the idea is that if you press this, you can just do this easily rather than playing around with a throw like I did earlier. So now I really have no insight as to this one because now we have established that this is used for something else. No one uses that block? Well, we just did, so... Now I understand it. You know what? Maybe we can actually just barely reach this. Or not. Maybe if we have conveyor momentum, then we can do a jump on the lower level that would actually hit. Because look at the peak of this jump here. Whoops. Nope, that's not what I wanted to show you. Look at the peak of this long jump. It looks like it's almost going to hit this level. It's maybe a block low. But if we get a run and despawn everything, because that's silly. That's not going to be it either. Okay. So what happened we used? We have not used this dash panel. We have not used this dash panel. We have not used this dash panel in conjunction with this slope, which... If there's a way to do kind of a bounce back, or a reversal... then perhaps that's what we need, but... no hard trick to this, really. Really. Because you fall in, not enough height. You know what? There's a bounce platform underneath this dash panel. Look at that. Look at how bubbly it is. Which means... if we load that location... no, the crate came back, so we clearly despawned it. What is this panel used for then? Hang on, hang on. I just noticed that overlap. That's the most significant clue I've had so far in terms of something that I have not interacted with yet. So for example, let's switch this back into this position. This would then bump. Or rather, it would load in and do nothing. And maybe the whole point of this overlap between the bounce platform and the dash panel is to kind of just look jiggly. Well, I mean, there was the other thwomp coming in from the other side as well, which is not really relevant to me here. Maybe I need to get dunked by this somehow. What if I... Yeah, I can clearly activate him. I still don't see anything better than my original idea, which is getting perfect timing onto dash panel. I mean, that clearly isn't the real solution, but I don't see a better alternative so far. But it's so difficult to execute that it just can't be it for anything reliable here. It might be something really, really obvious that I'm just not seeing. Because what kind of interactions do we have? We can roll. We can long jump. How else could we possibly bump the thwomp? We could create something here to stand on that would allow me to long jump. We could dislodge the thwomp somehow and move it. The reset doors don't seem to do much for me. You know what? Dash panel plus conveyor. That's what it is. Dash panel plus conveyor. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah. That's a very Mang-like solution. That is the most Mang-like possible solution, in fact. Let's get this out of the way, first of all. Let's put this somewhere else, where it will remain loaded. We want to place this here, in fact, so it's out of the way. Yes, yes, this is absolutely it. Done. Okay. I'm going to be low on time. Let's restart. And you were right. That is absolutely a think like Mang solution. Absolutely. Took me a long time to see, but it is absolutely the way. Okay. You know what? We will even use this block just as a courtesy to the maker. And also because it's easier. Yeah, let's do all this stuff on the left side first, in fact, if I can. Depending on what our on-off switch state is, let's do this. Okay, and then we'll load this onto the cloud and then switch the state again. Actually, it was loaded onto the cloud. Did we already do this? No, we haven't, so let's do it. I have to keep track of what I'm doing on each attempt. Well, that's the kind of attempt that, if I didn't already know the solution, would make me give up and try something else, even more convoluted. Okay, now let's tap the switch. And go back. You can actually avoid that trampoline too, interesting. Yeah, but I don't trust myself to do it. And I'm not going for speed record or anything, so we'll do it this way instead. I'm going to drop this here so I don't need to ground pound cancel or do anything silly. 8 out of 10, and it's just the last two at the end. We've got lots of time. And that's not dependent on the on-off state either, so we'll want to do this one first so you can bump into the other thwomp. Okay, let's guide him back slowly. I can't believe how many timeouts I spent on that one that I couldn't get, but I can see why it's also your favorite solution, by the way. It's now very obvious to me. Yeah, we'll load that up, spin into this, and then we'll finish this. There we go. Luca, that code you wanted to suggest, you will probably want to grab that now, because that is a completion. 10 out of 10. Not going to compete for that speed record. No way. How do you break the gray blocks? Hidden builder suit? I mean, to be fair, that idea occurred to me too before I realized that hidden builder suit would just nuke every thwomp in the level, and that would maybe cause some problems. Oh, that's heavenly. Okay, let's take a look at Luca's code. And yeah, I can save for a long stream today, like I said, so we can do a few more. Jellyfish gardens don't get tangled. Let's take a look. I see you have the record on this one as well. Oh, and it's going to use the jellyfish that are exclusive to the SMP3 water theme, replacing the spikes. Okay, so there's the jellyfish. There's the question block. So frog and door. So let's see what this is telling me here. Okay. So this is just straight up dark level with burners lighting up the space, I guess. We'll grab some of the coins along the way. And drop this, because that's how fire works underwater, apparently. And in the pipe we go. Might as well grab the checkpoint for no particular reason. Whoops. And we're going to be outpacing the auto-scroll here. There's a 10 coin in the bottom corner that I completely missed. Notice how when they are caught by the claws, they continue their movement pattern. That's one I probably know already, but is just kind of catching my attention here because, of course, I'm trying not to die to too many things at once. Okay, let's get over here. This is like the only time that a spike-based level is ever going to look good. Like I said, I kind of wish that more themes other than SMP3 Water had access to this, and of course we're going to take a hit at the very end, because why wouldn't we? They do look like giant jellyfish, yes, exactly. I feel like we've seen some things from Fancy Pants before. One Room Wonders, interesting. Maybe not. Maybe this is somebody new to me. Yeah, I don't think I played any of this. We'll have to keep this in mind, because that was aesthetically pretty interesting. Oh, this one's well played. Yeah, we can do a few more. Man, if you're staying longer, we can pull up another one of yours since we are still catching up. We can do something more platformy. Otherwise, I'll pull up something else by somebody else we haven't seen recently. Oh, Fancy Schmancy. Yeah. I know who that is. Oh, no wonder it's a jellyfish level, because he's the person with the squid avatar, like the animated squid thing. Oh, man left a drawing there. Let's take a look. Yeah, no, Fancy Schmancy, I actually do drop by his stream every now and then. Whether or not he's running the squid face. The animated VTuber squid, rather. Cute jellyfish. That is very cute jellyfish. This was from January as well. So yeah, we can do another one actually. Let's see. And then I'll pull up some other makers as well afterwards, if I have time. Like some of the Korean makers that we saw earlier, we might look into more by them. A blast in the woods. Avoid getting blasted in the woods. 0.56%. And again, Luca cleaning up every conceivable record on this list. Lantis insists that is not a jellyfish. Lantis, by the way, I don't know if there's anything of yours older that I haven't played, but if you'd like to see something as well, Lantis, you should let me know. In fact, maybe I should have asked you before I dipped into a 0.56 Mang level. Oh yeah, okay, so this is just telling you that certain zones are going to bomb you to bits. And it is basically timing based. Except knowing these levels, we'll see. It should be possible to do things quickly. Yeah, you want to come out at the same time at the pipes, actually. Now this is going to be tricky. Oh. Nope. Man, you're tired and need to sleep. That's okay, we can stick with this one anyway, since I pulled it up already, but I'll pull up somebody else's afterwards. Do get some sleep. That's helpful from time to time, not that I would know from experience. Grasshopper, there we go. Oh, icicle, I would need to do what? Slide it with this? Oh no, I need to drop the icicle, obviously. Okay. Yeah, we'll try to finish this up anyway, so you can look at the mod afterwards, and I'll see how many more I can stay for after this. We'll pull up some different people. Because there have been a lot of levels in the early months of this year that I just have not had the time to play, especially ones by people who can't always show up to my crazy streaming hours. Yeah, hopefully not making anybody throw up here with the screen shaking effect. Okay. Because we're going to be seeing a fair bit of it. Yeah, I want to jump at the same time as these are coming out of the pipes, basically. Because that's going to be safest. Now here, that's no longer a jump, so that's going to be a little trickier. Because I need to get within range of the icicle spiking the spike. I need to jump on the spike, rather, because the spike is slightly dislodged. Okay, that's fine. I think I can understand this. Except the range in those bombs is rather large, so we'll need to be very careful here. Nope, I knew that was off when I tried it. Okay. Let's see here. Bomb, bomb, bomb. There we go. Yeah, plenty of time before the icicle comes back, at least. Okay, this will be trickier. And then these bounces. Oh yeah, we're going to need to watch out for the other side. I guess maybe I want to cling onto the vine. Yeah, because I just need a short bounce. St. Lentis, you're shaking with fear. Perhaps. Also, this looks like it's just barely inaccessible, which really does make me wonder if we need to eventually take an object all the way back or something. No, not likely because of the way these platforms are structured. But interesting to think about. Okay. Yeah, not too bad so far, considering how bad I usually am at timing-based elements like this. Nope, I was trying to position myself for the next jump and I took a needless death with the checkpoint in sight. Hey, that's one way to do it, by the way. You just jump onto bombs, I guess. I do not recommend that way of doing it. That's clearly suboptimal. But let's go up. And back down. Okay. One thing I haven't seen so far in Mario Maker, for obvious reasons, is something like a rumble required level, which I would not be able to play on my current controller because I'm on the Super Nintendo controller. But because certain objects have like HD rumble related effects, like the bombs and the other things, like I wonder if there could be something that would give you like a rumble cue that could be designed to be usable. It's almost certainly a bad idea, though. We're going to get a raid, and we're going to say hello to Adelia Sunshine. Hope the Tetris session has been going well over there. We've had a very long and productive Maker stream over here, so welcome in. We played a Super World earlier, and I finished earlier than expected. And so we're just adding a few extra levels on top of that. There we go, checkpoint. Too high on that jump. I should have noticed the spikes over there as a potential problem. I actually kind of wonder if I could go directly from the spike over to Blaster, but the timing probably won't work out. There we go. Now, what do I do with this guy? I need to take out the spike. Whoops. Okay, at least this gets trapped. Nope, I was trying to throw and cling onto the vine at the same time. Bad idea. That ended up being an up throw. Your companion levels... Oh, you mean the Mecha Koopas. Were actually an accident. So, Adelia Sunshine, you also played a Super World. Let me know which one. I hope yours went well. We played a Super Korean World over here, which was the big collaboration between a number of the South Korean makers. Okay, let's take this. Don't think I need the Koopa for anything else. This is a lot of shaking. Whole lot of shaking going on. Whoops. Okay, no more screen shake. Now Mario can take a moment to just barf all over the place, except look at that. The whole ground is blocked off, and so he has nowhere to barf but the ground and the bridge. I always have a habit of checking this stuff even though it's clearly out of reach. Checkpoint. Okay, we'll need to time this a little better now, particularly with the turnaround after this jump. And that's why we need to time it better. This is not too bad so far, actually. But we'll see, because sometimes checkpoint 2 is where the fun begins. Yeah, a lot of single screen challenges here now, so let's see. I understand how to basically play this like a rhythm game, because at least I can be relatively synchronized to the pipe exits. But obviously we'll need to do better with the fire in the next room. There we go. Bouncing off the wall is actually going to work quite well because of the momentum cut. Now we go against the fire, which will be slightly more difficult. Okay, bouncing off the cannonballs now. Well, bouncing off the cannonballs, not missing the cannonballs. That's rather important. Nope. Like I said, deflecting off the wall is probably better. Also, going right away actually seems to work cleanly, so we might as well do that so we don't need to worry too much about this one. Well, I mean, going right away with a slightly higher jump, perhaps. Okay, no, let's just wait. Whatever, let's just wait. What did I say about going off the wall? We should do that. Yeah. And the wall bounce works a lot better. Let's pay attention here. This room's not too bad at all, actually. Just need to be cautious. I don't think often enough about using walls as momentum cuts. But that's been instrumental to several levels that we've been playing recently, so... Let's not spill over the bridge, that's important. Usually waiting a fraction of a second before jumping helps you in this level, maybe so. Almost got shot in the face there, but thankfully not. Okay, this will be tricky. I have a couple of different things to watch here. Yeah, because clinging onto the vine does slow me down going into the next jump, so... Okay, going too soon. Yeah, I'm just trying to target my landings to synchronize with when the bombs come out, because the added time from the jump will usually make me land with just enough latency to be safe. So it's not too bad, relative to most red pipe spawning levels that I've seen. Because it's usually this kind of red pipe timing stuff that gets me into a lot more difficulty than the clear rates would suggest. And so this has been the opposite experience. Yeah, get some sleep, Luca. Thanks for dropping by. Right in the face. Not a good idea. Okay, that's not too bad. And we'll just try to get back to the other room as soon as possible. Landing on the cannonballs in the first place is actually a big problem for me here. Because of course we're kind of always jumping from a stationary position. If you are in the vines, you don't really have any momentum to carry with you. Oh, that was within range. And yeah, as long as I can get back to the Divine Room at the very end, I think I'll be finished with this soon. It's really not too bad. But there are a lot of moving elements in that room that I'll need to be aware of. Yeah, a little bit more height there would have been useful. Also, the timing of the first cannonball relative to the bombs is always going to be the same in that room, and we should keep that in mind because it means that if I get onto first available cannonball, there will be a consistent height that I need in order to get the first landing. And so that room I do want to go on an early cycle just for consistency's sake. No, let's not nudge over that way. That is a somewhat bad idea. There we go. Yeah, if I just don't miss that cannonball, I'm in much better shape. And I think I just need a high jump off of it, and the timing should match up nicely. Cannonball was a little further to the left than it usually is when I take it, and so that did throw off my sense of timing quite a bit. So let's enter here. And then we're going to be in this room. Nope, I need to not land on the fire, obviously. I was just trying to get in position for the climb on the left side. Usually don't die on the way back. That time was a little bit unusual though, so... let's try to fix that up. Yeah, the entry in that room is always a little bit off for me, partly because I don't have much time to react if I've already committed to a certain bounce height on the cannonballs. You kind of need to commit to the correct jump very early in that room, which is exactly the kind of thing that I tend to have trouble with. But most of this level you can basically play like a rhythm game, so... I kind of think I shouldn't try to go for the cannonballs at all. It's easier if I just jump directly from the vines, but... We'll see if we can make that work. Okay, there we go. Didn't get shot in the face. That's important. Nope, absolutely no momentum there. I have to be right on the left side if I want to reach that. I just didn't get anywhere close to grabbing the last vine. And of course we need to make our way back after that, which is not too difficult, I think. I think it'll be one room where reversing is going to be easier, because then we don't need to worry so much about having enough height off the jump up to the vine to the left. Like the placement is going to be more flexible going the other way instead. It will look dangerously close to the red pipe, but the thing is, it doesn't really matter, because if you're standing in the danger zone, the entire danger zone is going to be dangerous at once. Whether you're standing left, right, or center, the timing is going to be the same when it comes to safety. There we are. Improving slightly, perhaps. Occasionally, just having some issues landing on the cannonballs has really been the main difficulty there. No. Yeah, the difficulty in that room is just reading multiple moving targets at once, because you need to read the rhythm as well as both fireballs, basically, and then that's a lot to take in. At least we can get back there somewhat consistently, which is important, I say, as I die in one of the early rooms. Okay, let's pop in. Nope, that was clearly going to be a problem on the drop. Okay. Yeah, we'll wait for a few cycles here first, just to get into position. And no, it really has to be off the leftmost vine. There's no flexibility there. I wonder if we can position ourselves in such a way on the vines that I would actually jump on the bomb before it blows up. No, because it would drop an ignited bomb into the poison and that would still kill me. That would still be within the danger zone, so It's not an option. We can't just bop it on top of the pipe. This is so close to the poison level. Okay, there we go. Looking good. I need a lot of forward momentum to get onto the right side. So getting back to the right is not as trivial as I thought it would be, because you actually do need a couple of consecutive jumps, I think. So you would need to basically prepare the hop and then wait for the fire to come right to left, and then hop over rhythmically while preserving momentum if you can, which is going to be very, very tricky. So yeah, actually a lot more difficult than I thought, just given the distance you have to cover. So let's not underestimate that. Nope, I knew that was going to be wrong that time. Sometimes you can just tell mid-jump that the landing just will not stick. Yeah, you don't really need a full jump out of that every time to get out of the danger zone that's marked by the P-blocks. But of course it does potentially help gauging one's timing. And we'll get back here. Okay. Nope. Thought I would be able to speed my way over, but I wonder if it's actually going to be... No, it's not going to be precision landing next to the pipe, obviously, because it is covered by some additional spikes. Yeah, you can't do a precision trick to land beside the grinder blade. And that would not work. Everything's kind of doubly covered in hazards. But that's okay, at least we're getting back to the room often. Nope, I was a little bit off my intended pattern. There is a pretty narrow window. Depending on the synchronization between those two fire tracks, of course, there's a fairly risky spacing that allows me to get onto the vertical vine on the top left early. But it's quite risky. I have to really manage my space well. No, I knew a short bounce should not work there. I don't know why I tried it. Yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad in the early rooms. And this is getting more and more consistent, which is nice. Okay. Now we wait. I think we just need to go... It's not even a matter of momentum, because Divine's cut the momentum anyway. I need to go off the rightmost edge of the rightmost vine. It is not a question of momentum, it's just a question of space. Kind of need to go edge to edge on that, which is going to be difficult, because I only have so much flexibility to maintain my intended spacing there. Yeah, because you can't build momentum going vine to vine. I know that from previous levels that we're all about consecutive vine climbs. Nope. Still too far to the right there. It's positionally very tricky, but we'll eventually get it, I'm sure. Okay, here we are. And, yeah, I lost too much momentum over there. That will not be right. Actually, when I get to the vine room, I kind of want to try one thing that's slightly different, but we'll see if it's worth the risk. Whoops, missed. Okay, we've got that. Landing accurately on moving targets is still a matter of difficulty after all this time. And there we are. Yeah, no, it needs to be a medium bounce. Almost certainly. And we've mapped that out so many times, I shouldn't be messing with it too much now. In the interest of getting back to the final room. On here. Let's just get some bad attempts out of the way and get back into the swing of things. Yeah, that's Much more in line with how I was doing it consistently earlier. Okay, there we go. It's only part 1 though. There we go. Right off the edge. Oh, we're not done yet. Don't like the look of that icicle. It means we do need to fall into the note block directly. Probably do a bit of a medium bounce out of that. I should have watched the fire. We actually could have done it if I watched the fire. You fall in directly and you actually do get the opportunity to get a fair bit of airtime out of that. And then... yeah, once you stick the first landing, all of our previous methods still apply. Like, getting around these fire rings is not too difficult once you are in position to make those jumps in the first place. And then after that is the pipe, and that looks like it's going to be the ending, so... it looks like we are reasonably close. Okay, down we go. Yeah, so as long as I'm reasonably centered on the last find, I should be able to make it over. Nope, too high. I didn't expect to get anywhere that high because we've just never wound up that high on that vine before, but I do have a good intended pattern in that room now in terms of which window I'm going for. So if we get back there quickly, we should be able to figure out the rest. Okay, back here again. Let's watch this timing carefully. There we go. Almost dropped a little too low there. Let's watch next cycle. Nope. I was trying to get in position there and just landed on a wrong vine. I have to make a very minute adjustment. And I had fire chasing me from the left. That was just not going well all around. So, lots of adjustment necessary to make that work, and we still have one final room on top of that, so sooner we can get a consistent spacing for that, the better. The early rooms are at least not too troublesome. Now let's wait for this. Nope, thought I could skip over. Much too risky. Wait for this next cycle here. Resynchronize and exit. Alright, let's wait. Let's find a good timing for doing this now. Yeah, we kind of need to hold right going into exiting Divine. And the issue is that I'm kind of holding up, and because I'm in the middle of the climb, obviously, and expecting to cling back on again. But just learning how to exit Divine properly is going to be the entire challenge of that room. Whoops. Yeah, because I do have a habit of holding up into the jump off the vine, and that's actually wrong. We need to be preparing the sideways movement ahead instead. So just a minor control issue to fix here, perhaps. And we should be fine if we can get back into position. Okay, that was smooth. Let's do this again. And there we go. Holding right into the jump is the answer. Nope. I actually had it that time. I thought I could do one additional cycle. And that was wrong. I should have just gone directly. And that is the furthest we've gotten so far, so. And I do understand how to get under the icicle somewhat consistently, I think. Plenty of room to choke in that room, of course. Oh, I desynchronized them. That's bad. Because of the way that we killed one bomb ahead of time. Okay. Desynchronizing them would technically make it safer, but it's harder to read, and so it's better if we just have one consistent timing all at once to deal with. Nope. But yeah, I feel like the next attempt at a final room should, more or less, get me there. Plenty of room to choke, of course, but the fire segment at the end is no tighter than what we see here, apart from having a narrower platform to jump around on, instead of having quite as much space to play with. Almost there. Oh, nope, I was too high on the vine and I was trying to get back down and I slipped off instead. Did not expect to have that good a climb. Alright, let's wait. Nope, too long. We'll make it, eventually. Yeah, the extra spacing on a bridge actually does matter quite a bit relative to the last room. Okay, let's do this again. We'll follow the fire this time, going to the right. Now we know how to exit that a little more smoothly. And as predicted, the next attempt would do it. That looks like a hard mode. We are... No, actually that's a wall, because we saw the level on the other side. Never mind. That's a wall. And that was just the exit from the previous zone. Okay, so that was actually less complicated than I imagined. Went pretty smoothly, given the style of the mechanic as well as the clear rate. I think maybe we can afford to do one more small thing before I log off. We'll see. Probably not something extremely involved, but we'll take a look. I'll pick something. Just give me a moment to spin something up. Let's catch up on some document. I'm a couple levels behind with them, as you can see from this one back in February. Super Boomer Brothers, gimmick free, let's go, it's a me Mario. Hence the title image, which oddly resembles Flappy Bird. And depending on how this goes, we'll probably finish on this or something similar. Looks like we have a limited amount of time to get on that bonsai when it spawns, and that seems to be the main thing we need to deal with here. As well as forward momentum on the track, of course, before it starts to pulling back. And yeah, I need to be fairly quick about that. Yeah, the track's going to cut my momentum if I take too long to get off of it, so we'll try to be relatively quick. Still too slow. Need a very brisk jump before we've fallen too far. No. Too high. Every time. I'm not properly accounting for the fact that it is a falling platform and that we don't need to give ourselves quite so much space for the landing. In general, I am just sort of overshooting and holding too long into the landings, I think. Or just not jumping soon enough. Actually, mainly the issue is that the jumps are too high. This can be controlled. The issues can be mitigated. Look at that up pipe there, just about to dunk you. I think I need to run all the way to the right on that location there. Yeah, I just need to kind of underestimate a lot of my jumps, I think, and that's going to be the correction that's necessary across the board here. As you can see, just can't really aim that high. And that was going to be a high bounce up to the bricks. I did see that coming. I just didn't expect I would hit quite like that. Yeah, very straightforward by design. I kind of wonder if this was designed for some kind of constraint-based challenge, or some other requirement or bet. But even if not, you know, it's kind of an ample demonstration of what you can still do with minimal elements. We actually did want to get dunked by the pipe. It worked quite well the first time we saw that. It took too long to get to the Goomba. I did get stalled a little bit when I landed on the top platform, so... But of course, we shouldn't be cutting too many corners on the way. Yeah, I am kind of thinking ahead to what the issue was earlier in terms of my positioning. Mostly early in the level, though, is just a matter of taking shorter jumps than it seems I need. We'll get dunked, we'll jump forward, take this forward. Nice little cycle around over there, that's very satisfying. Just to clean up that much of the level at once, only to die at the checkpoint in very stylish fashion. No, eventually we will need to kick the shell over and use it as a landing platform again, so... Yeah, quite a lot of interesting element reuse here with things cycling around and being interactive pieces multiple times in a row, as with the finale to the previous section, of course, which was quite a lot of fun to work with. This kind of reminds me of the earliest days of Mario Maker 1, if you were one of those people patient enough to work within the constraints of a partial toolset that was not fully unlocked, because it was, of course, time-gated at launch originally. Because if you look at it, there are actually very few unique elements that are being used here, and it's a very focused level in some ways, in terms of working with a minimal number of elements. Easy tracks, platforms, one Koopa so far. Munchers, bonsais, not much else. I suppose there are the Goombas earlier as well, but... And notice that it is a 2-tile landing zone in a shell, not 1 tile, as we would ordinarily expect at one-way panels. One-way panels, of course, not being from SMP1 originally, and maybe just one little anachronism here that is necessary to make the shell setup work. Okay, no, I do need to run all the way across to the blue platform and jump back up. It's very clear to me what to do. It's just that the timing hasn't come together yet. And I need to get on top of that and jump pretty much immediately, except I still don't know what the end of that interaction is going to look like, so we'll have to survive just a little bit longer to let the platform do its thing. And let's just bop this, and nope. That's a big nope right there. Yeah, this is all just a matter of exit timing. Maintaining full forward momentum is going to be pretty necessary here, though, so... And we're getting caught because at that point the platform is already going up and trapping me accordingly. So yeah, no room whatsoever to back down. Oh, okay, I see. All of the bunches get lifted out of the way, then you get on top of that platform, and then we'll need to figure out what the next landing zone is after that, so... Nice full jump out of that, I think, is going to solve the problem. It is going to be the Goomba. I'm a little late on that. I need shorter bounces on the Goomba sequence, because otherwise we will not catch the platform in time. Yeah, it's always nice to kind of read a burst of the level at once. We do need to be a bit riskier about that in terms of staying a bit longer on the platform until it's almost touching the munchers. And yeah, the Goomba walks off based on its camera position. There's a lot of tricky stuff going on in here that is hard to get to behave reliably, I think. And the fact that it is behaving reliably is a testament to how well constrained this level is in terms of certain jumps that will force you to spawn elements on screen at a particular time. So there are certain jumps that you're going to have to make with complete forward momentum, and because of that, the Goomba timings as a result are going to be consistent. Like this one over here. And yeah, I'm taking too long on the bonsais. I believe it's going to be short bounce off the top bonsai, or a shorter one anyway. Otherwise, by that point, we will have spawned the lift already, the red lift, and that's going to get me into some timing trouble here, because it's going to be way out of range for me to climb onto. So we just haven't figured out the timing there, or the spacing for getting through the bonsais and Goombas as quickly as possible. Alright. Very nice, except I needed a high bounce off the bonsai at the end, which I did read accurately, but I was late on the button press. Yeah, very clear to me that the coins once again signify that the intention is to get the pipe to dunk me off the ceiling. So yeah, tons of stuff here is going to be camera dependent in terms of how the timings are going to line up for me. But for the most part, it doesn't look like I'll have too many issues with the consistency of how things fall into place. Not too worried once we have a lot of the momentum properly corrected. I don't know why I've been missing that Goomba in the last few attempts. We were doing that cleanly even on the first try earlier. And so it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Yeah, just kind of need to land the dead center here between Muncher and the one-way panel, just to get a nice solid bounce off of that Koopa, which we will need to kick there in the first place. Okay, at long last, let's get some of these jumps done cleanly, get onto the platform, and step way down until we can jump onto the spring again. That's clearly the intention, we just didn't do it accurately, which is really what this game comes down to. Jump at her from time to time. I'm gonna catch that on the edge, too close to the edge. Nope. Misjudged how quickly the platform was going to back out on me. But we very nearly got it. But yeah, we don't want to spawn the red lift too soon, I think. I have to be aware of when it's going to fall, because that means that's the time at which I really have to start cutting corners of my jumps. There might occasionally be some synchronization awkwardness here with my positioning, depending on what I'm doing. It's not too severe, but after many attempts you do begin to notice not inconsistency, but just, you know, some minor points of variance in how I'm playing as well, which then affect my aim for the later parts of the level. Didn't quite know where to go after the shell there. We do need to kick the shell once we get back onto the platform, and then jump through to the other side to land on it when it's trapped by the one-way panel. That's going to be a somewhat complex series to follow along with, but did not expect to actually make that landing. Okay, nope, not okay. Never mind that. Plenty of room for improvement, that's what playing Mario comes down to in the end, just finding the errors and sorting them out. So the way I'm just kind of getting into the top corner of that bonsai, I keep thinking that that's going to be a miss, and instead just not seeing that I actually am able to salvage a position like that. However narrowly. That's much cleaner though. Hang right into this jump. And then land on the platform, kick, and then jump over before the munchers come back down. I see it, I just don't have the spacing to do it yet. I do wonder if there's going to be a part 3 on this, just given how many munchers are being expended on this level. I mean, we're going to be done with the subworld at the end of this segment for sure, I think. Just because the muncher count is so high, there's not much room for anything else. But I've rarely known Donkey Mint to just use one checkpoint when he has 2 at his disposal, so it's entirely possible we'll see a part 3. Let's kick. Wrong way. Yeah, you kick, you get on top of the shell, and we have a pretty solid, clean landing after that, so that's really the only thing, just kicking the shell in the right direction is the last thing remaining in this section by the looks of it. Yeah, sometimes it does seem like I'm curving ahead a little too soon, and I don't know if that's affecting the bonsai spawn there. It might, and it might not. But in general, minimizing air time is a good thing to think about here. Okay, surprisingly clean. Up until that point, of course. When everything got lowered back down onto the pipes. Whoops. And we'll just botch a couple of restarts here while we get back in position. Okay, up we go, and back down. And yeah, I'm actually just going too high on that bounce, and that's been the issue in some recent attempts. Okay, plenty of time to spare this time. Hold right in that, hit the shell, push the shell to the right, not to the left. I really do need to maybe stand on the left side of that platform then. Because I am trying to push the shell in the right direction, it's just that I'm coming at it from a slightly higher angle than I'm expecting. And that's leading it to be a bit awkward at the end. There we go, finally. And we are not going to flood the ending. And yeah, we've got a lot to catch up on here. Both Wrecking Crew, which is... this is about a 1%, and Team Peace, which we'll catch up at some point. Kind of getting back into the swing of doing some Maker Backlog, which we haven't been doing too much of recently. And this was already on top of the Super World that we featured earlier today, Super Korean World, and so it was kind of a very productive double stream when it comes to Mario platforming. That is going to be all for me today, though. That's all we have time for. We will be back with viewer levels tomorrow, hopefully on schedule, although I'm expecting that we may run a little bit late, as we've been doing with many streams recently. So, but more Mario Maker is to come. And in the immediate future, we're going to send you off to a raid somewhere else. Drop by somebody else and say hello. So we'll send you on to some destination in a moment. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. And until we meet again, have an excellent weekend. Have an excellent Easter egg hunt if you're doing that in a context other than just software alone. And we'll forward you somewhere momentarily. Until next time, fare thee well.